Is this sound okay?
Yes, you sound very good.
Perfect.
So yes, we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Luxury Live Show. I'm your host, Amy. I have my co-host, Kat L. And of course, our very special guest and returning guest that everyone loves. Everyone loves G. I am GPS. If you guys don't already follow him, follow him. His info is in the description. And today you guys are in for really eye candy, like lots of eye candy type of episode, but in a form of slides, because we're going to talk about the newest jewelry in 2025 to consider, I suppose, or just to, to appreciate.
Some of our favorites, some of our standouts,
Yes.
things we love.
Yes. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm not sure. Well, I just posted it today on my Instagram. I said that, I had some health scare this week, but I'm better now. Just resting at home. But I will excuse myself in about an hour just to take my medicine. But Kat and G will be here while we do that. Okay, so just to give you an overview. So all of us, G, Kat, myself, we did our own slides and I combined them together. So the way I'm going to do it is we'll show all of GPS, G's, his picks, and then we'll do Kat's because Kat has to leave half an hour earlier, and then we'll just finish with mine. So without further ado, okay, wow, this is gorgeous. G, please go ahead.
Incredible, right? So, Van Cleef for me is a hit and miss brand. Of course, Van Cleef is best known for the Alhambra line, which is incredibly popular. I think it suits some people. I definitely don't think that it is as universally flattering as people think it is. I think it has kind of become a default for a lot of people. When they think of designer fine jewelry, they think of, okay, my first piece is going to be Cartier Love, and my next is going to be Van Cleef Alhambra, either the 5 motif bracelet or the vintage pendant, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with either one of those pieces. I just think that they have quite a strong aesthetic. And I don't think that they are pieces that suit every single occasion, every single outfit, not to mention that depending on which stone you go for, they are not made for everyday wear, right? Like unless you pick up a piece in onyx or solid gold, these are pieces that you have to take off because they are semi-precious gems. You cannot take a shower with them. You have to be careful with lotion, fragrance, because some of the stones will discolor, other stones will shrink, and they can potentially fall out, which as long as you know what you're getting yourself into, it's fine. But I feel like a lot of people are not aware of that. But I was at Van Cleef recently, and neither one of these pieces are a new creation. They are not something that I would personally pick up for myself, because to me, Van Cleef tends to be quite a feminine brand. It's not something that I would personally buy into, but I was blown away by both of these creations because I love a statement ring. I love a ring that expands a couple of fingers, if not your entire hand. So these were 2 rings that I came across. One from the Butterfly collection, which again, very delicate, very soft, very feminine, but more on the playful side. And then we have the Lotus line, which is definitely closer to almost high jewelry. It definitely uses high jewelry techniques, but it's still considered fine jewelry. So it's something that is not going to cost you your soul, and you can buy directly from the store. It's not something that you have to custom order. But I loved both of these pieces. And I actually tried on the butterfly ring. Again, not something that works for me, but I was just blown away by the craftsmanship.
So just to give everybody a bit of context, so I had already prepared my slide, and then I received G's slides shortly after. And just upon just looking at a glance, everything he chose, not only is everything exceptional, stuff that we just don't see every day, and also just like stuff that we don't think about every day. But I have to agree with you, just from this first slide, I love a statement ring. Now, I am the most practical person on YouTube, so we all know that I will always choose things that we can wear every day. But having said that, I do realize that even for myself, I do want to add at least 1 or 2 statement rings that I can just interchange on the more special occasions. And looking at these 2 pictures is like definitely up my alley. So gorgeous.
And you know what I love
Yeah.
about the butterfly ring? I love the fact, just a detail to point out here, is that if you look at the body of the butterfly, it's made of a single marquee cut diamond. So you
Yes.
can pick up the butterfly ring in several different colors. I'm pretty sure that one butterfly is always going to be pave white diamonds. And then the other one you can either buy with sapphires, like the one that I showed you here, or you can also buy it with the same or similar semi-precious gems as the Alhambra line. So if you're looking for more of a color blocking effect, you can go for the semi-precious gems where you will just have one single stone of, I think they do them with lapis, which is like a blue stone. They do them in a handful of different shades, but you do have several different options. If you want something more sparkly, more formal, of course, you can go for the sapphire option, but then you also have some of the other stones which make it look, I mean, casual would be an overstatement, but a little bit more
Everyday wear.
wearable. Exactly, a little bit less sparkly. And then the lotus is next level, right? Like they have them in several different finishes. You have ones where you only have a couple of flowers, but I chose the one where you have an entire lake of lotus flowers floating around pretty much on your fingers.
Oh, I
Well,
love
I
that.
love the lotus flower. The lotus flower is so beautiful. Like, because one alone can look. I mean, it's nice, just one alone. But because they are like paired together, not paired, like four of them together, it really looks as if it's like floating on the lake, right? It's
It's
so
beautiful.
gorgeous.
And I'm not a fan of this collection. I have to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of the lotus collection. I love lotus flowers. I find them beautiful. But the lotus collection, I don't love from Van Cleef except these rings because of this floating effect that you mentioned, Kat.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And so I know G did his best to include US dollar prices. Otherwise,
Yes.
it's going to be euro because you're in Amsterdam. And same for me. I did Canadian as well as US prices whenever they're available. So just to give everyone a bit more context. Okay, moving on to this piece. I want to hear what you're going to say about this one.
Okay, so my first introduction to Van Cleef, besides the Alhambra line, was their watches. There was this one watch, which I can't remember what it was called. It was called either the Galaxy Collection or the Cosmos Collection, where essentially you had all of the planets on the face of the watch, and as time went on, throughout the day, the planets would move. It was a piece that was only available for order. It's not something that you could walk into the store and get your hands on. I asked about it at a Van Cleef event, and they didn't even know the price at the time. And then, long story short, at one point I was able to try it on. It was something like $500,000, like something insane. But that was kind of my first introduction to the world of Van Cleef watches. And then the more I got to know Van Cleef, the more interested I became in their watches, which I am not a big watch person. I would not consider myself a serious, timepiece connoisseur. And I really wouldn't look at these pieces as a serious timepiece. To me, these are a glorified piece of jewelry. It's a piece of jewelry that happens to tell the time, right? You're not buying this because you want to know what time it is. We all have our phones with us. But I am a hopeless romantic. So when I was shown this watch, I was just blown away by this. The idea behind this watch is that it features two lovers on each side of a bridge. And throughout the day, they get closer and closer and closer to each other. And then at noon and at midnight, they meet in the middle, they steal a kiss, and then they go back. And they go through this pattern each and every single day. And it's part of the women's collection. It comes in white gold or rose gold. The rose gold version is the day version, so it's a lot more colorful. The scenery is during the day, and then you have the lover's bridge at night, which is my take on it. That's not what it's called. They're both called the lover's bridge. But then you have the night scene, which is in white gold with diamonds around the face of the watch.
Okay, now that you explained it, it makes a whole lot of sense. Because obviously, me just looking at the watch, I'm like, well, it's a nice watch. But I looked at the price too, and I'm like, okay, thanks. But the part where they just start at zero, everybody starts at zero, and then throughout the day they start moving towards the center is definitely. Even the name says "Au pont des amoureux," which is exactly what you said, Lover's Bridge. Now I can appreciate it a lot more because, again, like I said, I'm the most practical person. I would never even have laid eyes on this. But yeah, in terms of arts and in terms of like the meaning behind it, it's gorgeous. Definitely gorgeous.
And it's the mechanism that makes it so special, and probably what makes it so expensive, right? Because it is a functional watch. It does have a precise mechanism that runs inside, but then also it is depicted throughout these two lovers. So instead of having the two hands that move, you have these two lovers that tell you what time it is, which I think is so special. And then if you look at the left side, in the bottom corner, you have this trigger that you can hit. And if you hit that, then the lovers just run to each other. And then they run back regardless of what time it is.
Oh.
So, you know, there's this watch event that happens, I think, every year. And they do it in Switzerland, I
Geneva,
believe.
right?
Geneva is like Watches and Wonders. So all the watchmakers will just go there and show their best of the best. You know, they show their innovations. I'm pretty sure this watch will have been there when they launched that year.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, because it's all how many complications and how many, and then now they've got this trigger button. When you mentioned trigger button, it just occurred, you know, it just reminded me of a watch that Hermès did. Is it this year or last year? The Watches Wonder, where you could press the trigger button, and they showcased it at the event. And the watch looks pretty much plain with the face of the horse. But when you press the trigger button, the horse like sticks his tongue out.
Yeah, and it licks the screen.
Yeah, and it licks the screen. And something like that. And everybody, I mean, it's such a simple, like, it's almost a bit like a toy.
Gimmicky.
But I think, it's a bit gimmicky, right? But the thing is, I think a lot of people found it to be refreshing because it's such a serious event at this Watches and Wonder. Everybody's like, 5,000 complications, you know, the harder the better. And it's just crazy. But Hermès took the other route where they wanted something that's almost like this, you know, a bit more gimmicky, a bit more like this is not gimmicky, but this is also complication. But you've got this almost fun element to the watch that's not just about how deep it can go, how many turns it can make, how can you fly to the moon, that kind of thing, right? Which is great. I love it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It was called the Rockabar watch. It came out, I talked about it in a video. It came out, I think, was it earlier this year? It was called the Rockabar watch because it not only featured the horse, but also the Rockabar print in the back. And Hermès has a lot of these really technical watches that are also tongue-in-cheek. They also do ones with butterflies. They have ones, and they're usually inspired by a scarf print. So each one of these watches will pay tribute to one of their famous scarves. And they will usually be hand-painted and made up of individual pieces. They had one with a horse this year. Not a horse like the Rockabar one, but more of an abstract horse, where the face of the watch was hand-embroidered. So like there was all this like embroidery. They even used gold threads on the face of the watch. They have some really, really beautiful watches that you'll never see in store unless you shop probably at Faubourg, right? They might have some of those on display, but they're really just made for their collectors.
Such a beautiful piece.
Sorry, I wanted to remind everyone also that this is, I think, our 5th time having G here on the live show. So if you want to catch up on any of the previous episodes, it's right there in the link in the description. Also, just to mention, I think last time we did Hermès jewelry, so this time is kind of like a continuation into other brands.
But we also have Hermès coming.
Yeah.
And I have a sneak peek for you.
Well.
I have a sneak peek for you of some of the new jewelry or one collection that's launching for 2025 that's not out yet.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
On the slide, Okay, so this is our next brand. This is a brand I've been obsessed with. I don't own any pieces from this brand. This is a brand called Foundry. I first discovered them in Chinatown in New York. Their store is technically in Chinatown. They'll say that it's in Soho, but it's right on the border of Canal Street, so it's technically Chinatown. The owner, Beth, who's the founder of this brand, I think they had just started the brand shortly before I stumbled upon them. And what was really unique about the concept at the time is that she lived in this townhouse in Soho, but then the ground floor was her showroom. So you really got an intimate peek into her life, into her aesthetic. And it was all so intertwined and so unique, the whole experience of going to her store. And to me, this brand is really spiritual. So the idea is that you can buy all these medallions. They do other things too. They do rings, they do bracelets, they do earrings, the whole shebang. But I do think that if you're going to buy Foundry, you have to start with their medallions, because the idea is nothing new. You basically personalize these necklaces with medallions, but each medallion is not only incredibly crafted using the finest materials, but each one has a beautiful spiritual meaning and spiritual inspiration to it, which I really, really like. Two things that I wanted to call out here are their letters. I love their letters because, first of all, I love the font that they used. I don't think it's a font that you'll see that often, but I also love the fact that they use different cut diamonds because, you know, everyone does the classic letters, right? Like everyone has, or most people will have a piece of jewelry with their initials on them. But I think their letters are really special because they will use not only brilliant cut diamonds, but also emerald cut diamonds, square cut diamonds, so princess cut diamonds, depending on what fits the shape of the letter best. And then I also love their Karma range, which is the pendant right in the middle underneath the letter A, because of the use of enamel and the use of diamonds. I just think it's such a beautiful statement piece. And it's a brand that is actually quite popular, but most people will not know sort of the story behind the pieces or how truly beautifully made they are. But they are getting more and more popular. And so it's a brand that I would love to buy into. But I would say that if you want to explore this brand, your best bet is to go to one of their stores. I think they have a handful of stores in the US. I think they have a couple in New York. They definitely have one in LA. And I think they might have a couple of other stores. But I think it's all about the experience. So you really want to go to the store, talk to one of their sales associates, and build your own story with their pieces of jewelry rather than just buy something online, because I don't think you'll get the same experience.
That's the sad part about this, like brands that don't come to Canada, or at least not as quickly, because I've never heard, and I don't think I've seen this brand here.
Quite a few like big celebrities. I think Taylor Swift is a big fan of the brand. I'm trying to think who else. If you go on their social media, they will repost all the people that are wearing their pieces. But you can buy them on Net-a-Porter, so they're definitely online. But I think, and also Net-a-Porter, I think they do have some more like simple beginners pieces. But if you want to get their actual medallions, you'll have to buy like a pre-made necklace. You cannot really customize it as much, or you can, but you have to go to the store to be able to have the pieces removed and put on, because a lot of them will actually be like molded onto the piece rather than just clipped on.
Do you have an eye on any of these pieces for yourself?
Yes, I do love the letters. So I would love to get a G and a P, one for myself and then one for Pi.
Oh, yeah.
And then I also love the Karma range, and they have just come out with numbers. I also love their numbers. So the extension of the letter line is now numbers. 6 is my lucky number. So I would also love to maybe get a number 6. But there are very few pieces I dislike from this brand. The only one that I don't really like personally is their clovers. They're really proud of their clover design. I don't really love those, and I don't like their hearts. I feel like very few brands do hearts well, and they are not one of them. So those are not the things that I would personally buy. But otherwise, I don't think you can go wrong with any one of their other pieces.
Interesting. I really like the alphabet. The alphabet is, yeah, like you said, like because the stones are all different sizes, it just adds a little bit of a difference to the whole look, because they could just use all the same like round diamonds. Yeah.
How big is that letter A? If we were
Looks
to
big, right?
scale it on the person.
The letter A is not that big. They do several different sizes online, but the letters are actually not that big. That's a piece that I personally tried on when I first went to the store. Again, I didn't buy it, but it was a little bit smaller. But the Karma, the one that's underneath it, is slightly larger, but the range is huge. If you look at the mud shot on the right, you can see that, you know, each and every single medallion will be a different size, but they go all the way from itty bitty, like mini coin size, to huge oversized statement medallions. And by the way, it's all fine jewelry. I know some of them can look kind of jarring in how large they are, but even the larger pieces will be made of heavy, solid precious metals, which is something that you also have to consider. It's part of the price as well.
I think you've just added at least the letters from me in my wish list. I need to check this out. At least on the website, I need to at least take a look
and
at
I think
it.
those are 2K. I think those are 2K a piece.
Foundry. Let me see. Are they on? Sorry, are they on IG? Let's take a look.
Yeah, they are Foundry.
Very nice. Thank you for introducing to us. Okay, Boucheron. I know this is your favorite brand as well.
It is. It is. I do love Boucheron. I think to me, they are one of the most understated fine jewelry brands, even though they're one of the oldest fine jewelry houses. They're one of the oldest jewelry brands that has been making not only fine jewelry, but also high jewelry. So I love their Quatre line. It's unique. It's a rare day that I'm not wearing my Quatre ring, because it is a piece that I wear almost every single day. I don't wear too much jewelry at this point, but it's a ring that I will always go back to because it goes with anything and everything. I mean, just the fact that it combines every single shade of gold and even my favorite color, black, to me is just, you know, the perfect piece. It feels like that piece was made for me, even though it's technically not black. It's dark chocolate brown, because that layer that in my ring is that dark shade is inspired by the cobblestones of Paris. So the Quatre line, each motif is inspired by a different facet of Parisian architecture. So those little squares are inspired by cobblestones. The diamond band is inspired by the lights of Paris. Now, how much of that is marketing and how much of that is real inspiration? You know, I'm not sure.
Doesn't matter. It's a good story.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't even love Paris that much. In fact, I don't like Paris at all. So I'm not buying it because of the narrative, but I just genuinely love the design of this piece. And it comes again in different colors. I like the classic one where you have the black band, which if you ask them, they'll tell you it's not black, it's chocolate brown, but it does look black. But it also comes in white, it comes in seasonal colors. So that's a piece that I love. And then they have this new range, newer range, which is inspired by the bow. And as you can see, I also picked another statement ring just because I love the look of rings that go across your hands. So I thought that was a really cool piece. And then I also like the brooch. So the model is wearing the ring on her fingers. And then she also has this large oversized brooch on her dress, which I do think that brooches are really, really underestimated in how much value they add to your collection. Because I think those are pieces that you can genuinely wear every single day. And when we think of brooch, we of course always think of Chanel costume jewelry. But a lot of fine jewelry brands will also do incredible brooches. And this particular one is quite an expensive one because it's paved. But if you think of, for example, Cartier, they also have a brooch or a pin in pretty much every single one of their popular collections. And they are way less money than a Cartier love bracelet would be, or a Just un Clou. Yet I think it's something that would be a lot more special, and you'd get a lot more bang for your buck because it's on show at all times, and it can really spice up a really simple, really basic outfit.
Right. Especially if you like to wear monochromatic or like not lost the logo all over, then the piece can stand out even more. That's a gorgeous ring. That's a really gorgeous ring. So
yeah, I love the ring. The ring is so gorgeous. I know. I need me another statement ring. 33,000. This is USD, right? USD, right?
Yeah.
Woo.
I mean, it's a crazy amount of money, of course, if you think about it. But I do think that it looks insanely expensive. Like if you told me that this ring was 90K, I would not think that you're lying, right? Like it's $30,000 on a ring is insanity. But considering how much statement this makes, you know.
For sure. Since especially not everyone would be rocking this ring, especially.
Yeah, definitely not.
All right, moving on. Something more familiar.
Yes. Why don't you guys tell me what you think about this? Because this is definitely a line that you'll have thoughts on.
Yeah. Um, I'll go first. I mean, I never considered the rings, at least you know what? I shouldn't say that. We have I think the first time that I went to the store, it was inside a department store. So it was quite small. And at the time, I was looking for my perfect stacking bracelet with my
Hmm.
love thin bracelet. So that was a long time ago. And I could never get along with it. I think for me, especially, it was the sizing issue. And then it just, if it didn't add to it, instead it made it more clunky, then I would not have
Mm.
thought about it. But the ring, on the other hand, since I have never considered it, and now that I'm looking at this, the ring is a lot more versatile because that's one of the reasons why I buy a lot of rings, because rings, you know, they have all the sizes, they'll always fit. And I like that this ring is quite sensible and yet still looks very much like a statement ring,
Hmm.
which is why I like it. Yeah, I do like it a lot.
Oh, I actually never considered the ring, but I did consider the bag because when I saw the pictures on the slides, I was like, oh, he chose this bag. I like this bag. But I didn't go for when I wanted this or was considering this particular Serpenti bag, is because of the snake head. It's made
Mm.
of precious, enamel,
Semi-precious
and then
gems.
I think, yeah, the
Yeah.
eyes, right? And I was like, oh, so
Yeah.
nice, so nice. But I didn't end up getting the bag. Not this size, the slightly bigger one, when it was
Hmm.
still in fashion, right? The bigger bags was because it was heavy. But besides that, the bag I mean, the whole bag, the serpentine head and the strap that's almost like inspired by the
The
scales of the
scales.
snake.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like so, and the bag is really well made as well. So
Mm.
everything perfect, but it was just heavy for me. But other than
Mm.
that, if that was not a factor, like I just like a nice statement bag. It is a really good bag at a really good price.
Hmm.
It wasn't expensive. Let me see. Yeah, 2000. It was even cheaper when I saw it that time. So gorgeous. So I know why people buy this bag, because it's so well made. It's really well inspired. The head, the strap, even that, even how they sew the outline. It's all like
Hmm.
snake inspired and very
Hmm.
well done. But the
Another
jewelry I
reason
have
why
not considered.
Another reason why I would love to add something from Bulgari is because although a lot of people may not like snakes, some people do. But for me, I like snakes because my husband himself, he's born in the year of snake.
The year of the
So
snake.
Mm.
yeah, so I like, for me, there's extra um, meaning to it. Plus, I really do like the design. I think it's a fantastic, very classic, and like I said, for me, the bracelet never worked out, but I never thought
Hmm.
about the ring. This ring would be a really good candidate. So let us know why you chose it now.
So for me, the Serpenti collection is again hit and miss. I don't love
Mm,
every single piece from this
right.
range. I'm very particular with which ones I like. So I think this is called the Viper range because it's quite an extensive line. It has been around for decades and it started out as a more obvious take on a snake. So it was a snake head where you could really tell that it was a snake. This is a little bit more subtle and it's more about the scales. And
Mm,
I agree with you, Kat. I'm not big on snakes either, but I again love the narrative behind this range, which the idea is that in ancient paintings and in ancient stories, snakes were seen as a protector of the gods and the demigods. So they were always painted with a snake by their sides because it was kind of their lucky talisman. And the idea is that it could either be the spiritual protector in your life, or you can buy these pieces to commemorate a life-changing experience or you starting a new chapter, because what do snakes do? They shed their skin and they
Mm.
renew themselves. So the idea is that if you're going through a period of transition and you would like to commemorate that with a piece that really represents this new chapter in your life, this could be a great collection to go for. I'm a sucker for, story
Yeah,
behind these
I like that.
pieces.
I like that. Let me tell you something. So when I bought, when I was going through some shit work, excuse my language,
Yes.
I bought myself the JUC nail. hit because
Mm,
I was inspired by another person who said, it's like, you dive a nail into it, you like stick a nail. I was like, oh, I like that. I like that. I like the idea behind it, right? So if there's a good story like this, the snake thing where you shed in transformation, I buy it.
yeah.
I buy it. I buy the
So if
story.
you're spending 20K on a ring, give me a good story as well, you know?
Yeah,
Give
you
me a
did it.
lullaby and a beautifully made piece. Those things go hand in hand. So I love this collection. I think, again, it's quite particular. I don't think it's universally flattering, but I love the rings. The mechanism is, again, of course, beautiful. The idea is that these pieces are quite flexible. So, for example, the rings, they don't come in the traditional sizing. So they will not go from like 45, 46 to the 50s or 60s, but they'll do them in, I think, extra small, small, medium, and large. At least that was the case when I looked at these pieces because they are flexible, right? So they don't have to have quite that extensive of a range because they move. It's called there's an Italian term for it. It's not called tubular, but it's like the Italian um, definition of that word. And it's really beautiful. But this is the only Serpenti collection that I like, the Viper one with diamonds. I think if you're going to get this collection, go for pavé. If you don't want pavé,
Yeah.
don't get this range, in my opinion. And then the bags are just phenomenal. I really don't understand why they are not more loved and why they are not more talked about, because as you said, Kat, the craftsmanship is exceptional. Like when you touch these pieces, when you feel them, when you play around with them, you can tell how much effort was put behind these creations. I think they could have gotten away with doing a lot less than what they actually did with these pieces. Because every single luxury brand, even Tiffany has their bags. There are so many brands who do them at this point. And, it's kind of a money grab. I think the idea is that if they're selling you a 50K ring, they can also sell you a $2,000 bag. And so they put in minimum effort. Whereas these bags are truly beautifully designed. Every single detail is so meticulously thought out. As you said, the head of the snake, so the clasp, is made of semi-precious gems. The eyes are made of semi-precious gems. Each and every single detail is hand painted with enamel. I remember the first time I saw this bag, it was on a friend of mine. And she came to pick me up. We were going out for dinner, and she was wearing one of these bags, and I had never seen her with any other bag but Hermes bags. And I was just blown away by how great this bag looked. And I didn't even know that Bulgari was making bags, but genuinely just seeing this bag on her, I think she had it in white, in either this size or a size smaller. It just looked so insanely expensive. I would have guessed that it was more expensive than any one of her Hermes bags. It just, at this point, I think because they're better known, now we don't have that association, but they feel expensive. I think they are just incredible bags. And if you're tired of seeing the same Chanel classic flaps, I think this is one of the best alternatives money can buy.
Yeah.
I agree, except the only thing is, I think at the end of the day, we still value how heavy a bag is. And although I think we can all agree that we appreciate craftsmanship, because Hermès is the same. They are just highly valued in their craftsmanship, but there are always a little bit of the different factors. Either is the weight, either is just like the design is very well recognized, or just I think the connotation that people associate with it, right? I think that is one of the reasons why they never took off, because I know they're very popular among the influencers. But for me, personally, a weight would be a number one deal breaker for sure. So unfortunately, unless you buy it as more of a piece that you would only wear on very, very few occasions a year, and it would be your special bag and you're okay with that. I think that would be the
That's a
only...
great point, Amy. How about a smaller bag? Because obviously the bigger you go, inherently, the bag is going to be heavier. I wonder, because that's not something I paid attention to, I have to be honest. Weight of the bag, for me, the heavier, the more expensive it looks and feels. So for me, the weight is actually a selling point, if anything.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Different, yeah, I do notice that, whenever, because I do watch your videos, obviously, whenever you bring up certain arguments or points about certain things,
Mhm.
it would be the reason why I wouldn't choose those things. And I think that
Mm.
that's the difference between like a male choosing different styles and then female choosing different styles.
But
Very
That's
much.
a
you
really
know,
good point.
Sarkaj, cut in there. There's a fine line on the weight. Like if the bag's
Mm.
light and you go like
Yeah,
you
not too
feel
light where it's like
yeah, it's not
flimsy.
too light where you when you pick it up, you feel that it's like what kind of empty material, what kind of hollow
Yeah.
material are they using on this bag that cost the bomb? But then on the other spectrum, when it just passes this fine line where you pick it up, you go like, oh,
This took a lot more
that's
effort
heavy.
than it should have. Yeah.
Yeah, so that it's a really small gap of space where the bag's weight is just right. Not too light that it feels cheapo, but not too heavy where it for us, because we ladies will put at least for me, I will try to stuff as much things I can in my bag. If I can bring an extra umbrella, I will bring an extra umbrella. And all of that, then the weight becomes an issue, right? It becomes like an additional like, can I bring that extra umbrella? It's gonna be very heavy.
Yeah, no, I agree. And these bags, one thing I do remember from now that you brought this up, these bags are very flap heavy. Like if you don't close the bag, you just leave the flap open, I think it might even tilt or like it might even tip over because
Yep.
the head of the snake is made of solid materials, so it will be quite
Right.
heavy. I do think that it is the head of the snake and then the chain that makes it quite heavy. But then you also have bags from Bulgari that don't feature the head of the snake, right? Like this is just my favorite collection, but they have a huge range. They have a new creative director that they hired a couple of years ago who had her own brand. Her name was Mary something. Mary, and then her last name started with a K. And I think she was a British designer. I even think that she went to Central St. Martin's and she had her own brand that didn't really take off. And then she was hired by Bulgari to be the creative director of their bags. So they have a ton of bags at this point, but this is still my favorite. But I have to 100% agree with you. They are heavy bags. So if you want to combine your strength training with wearing a nice bag, match made in heaven.
Yeah.
If you want something nice and light, effortless,
Unfortunately.
That's why he likes it, because he's
Yeah.
using it for weight training.
right?
But most
But you know
female,
what?
you generally speaking, female just doesn't have the upper body strength compared to males.
No!
So females
We
are
do.
usually way stronger on their legs. For some reason, the upper body is not,
This will
especially if
get
you
you
don't
there,
work out very
Amy.
often.
This will get you there. This is the solution
This will
for
get
you.
you
You want
there.
more? You want bigger
therefore,
arms?
you
Here
should
it
get
is.
it.
2 in 1.
That's nice.
Oh.
Okay, Hermès. Here we go with Hermès. So I wanted to pick 2 collections that you might not be aware of. Let's start with the little sneak peek. So this is one of the new collections that's launching for fall winter 2025, which is the Vertigo collection, or I'm sure Amy can pronounce it beautifully in French.
Vertige.
So this is a new collection of it's kind of reminiscent of the Heart collection. They at one point had these heart rings that were again double rings. It's a more simplistic, more minimal, more abstract take on this. It's going to include rings and bracelets, both with diamonds and without. I picked the ring here without diamonds in rose gold. And what's going to be unique about this collection is that it's one of the only collections that will combine rose gold with colored gems. So they're going to have sapphires and emeralds in this collection, and they're going to be cabochon cut. Cabochon, I think that's the word, which means that they are not cut like a diamond, but they are this semi-globe almost. But I wanted to pick the ring because that was my favorite from this range because it's very simple, very minimal. It's probably going to be around my educated guess. Again, don't quote me on this, but my guess is that it's going to be around $3,500, which I think is a great price for how much statement it would add to your collection. It's also kind of similar to the Punk collection from Hermès. So this to me is, whenever this launches, I think this is something that a lot of people should consider if they are trying to build their Hermès jewelry collection and they don't want to go with the classics of Shandong, Kelly, Ashdunk, whatever.
I have bad news for you, G.
Tell me.
after you show this and after people watch this, and I'm sure even if they don't watch this and this comes out, it will be sold out all the time.
That's why I'm
It's
telling
such
you
a-
now, so you can jump on it before everyone else
I
finds
know,
out
I
about
must
it.
text my essay, like, let me know once it's here. Because it's
Yeah.
a gorgeous ring. And actually, let's not even talk about the new one, but like the Adage ring, I was actually considering this one with my essay for a while.
Next
Because
level.
it's one of those statement rings that are very simple,
Yeah.
but also it helps with the profile. But this Vertige, the new ring, because it's also on the more affordable price range and there's more sort of options, right, with the semi-precious stones and the precious stones, it will be always sold out. I will guarantee it. It's already sold out.
Jump on it now. I mean, you know
Yeah.
Hermes, you know how late they always are. So
Yeah.
knowing Hermes, even though it's a full winter 25 launch, it's probably going to be out what 2027 spring summer
True,
or
true,
something.
true.
But yeah, what's great about it is that they will offer you these more simple pieces, but then they also have rings that have this same spiral detail, but instead of it spiraling across two fingers, it will only go on one finger, but you have this same almost dome-like effect, and then you'll have it both with diamonds and without diamonds. And then some will even have the addition of a diamond that is set on the side or set with not a diamond, but an emerald or a sapphire. They're also going to do some large statement bracelets, again, with this same dome-like spiral design. But the Adage collection I love. And a lot of people don't know this, but the Adage collection started out as a high jewelry collection. And it was only
Oh.
then reinterpreted into fine jewelry. So they started out with these huge, gigantic statement pieces, which, by the way, the Adage previously was exclusively available with rose gold in rose gold with white diamonds. But for full winter, they're for the first time doing it in white gold as well. So if you didn't like the Adage
No
because
kidding.
of rose, it's coming in white gold. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
also
so
new
they
for full
have this
winter.
version, which this one, can you see that? I think this
Oh,
is
it's
the
available
common
now
one.
already. This is
Oh,
the
is it the
Vertigo,
new
right?
launch or? Sorry.
It's Vertigo, right? Or Vertigo, however you pronounce it.
I
Oh,
don't know how
that
you
one?
pronounce that.
Here, let me just.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the
That's
double
the
one.
Vertige
Okay.
ring, but in the
Yeah.
It's
single.
2000 something something.
It's such a good price, and it's a
And
simple.
this is the single one, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, it's insane.
Woo!
It's really, and it kind of reminds me of a single ring. It kind of reminds me of a more modern take on the Trinity from Cartier.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Like it's a like they call it inspired by the double tour. This is Hermes Belgium, by the way.
Amazing.
This is something that I love about Hermes, even though I know there's love and hate with Hermes, right? Obviously, if you're in the journey, you're gonna love it. But for me, regardless of whether I'm in the journey, I can always appreciate their jewelry. Like their jewelry is just so it's different. You can't get it anywhere else. Obviously, I'm also motivated to get because it helps with my profile, but I actually absolutely love all the designs that they have come up with so far.
And the
And sometimes the
craftsmanship, the
simplest
quality.
designs can be so extraordinary, just like this one. The vertical.
I mean, I've been singing the praises of Hermes fine jewelry since I started YouTube. For years, I was always shocked why people don't talk about it more because, and even when people do talk about Hermes fine jewelry, it will always be the same pieces: Kelly bangle, Shantank ring, Kelly ring, and not all the other incredible creations that Hermes has to offer. I mean, even just within those ranges, there are so many other options than just the classics. But their double rings I really adore, and the Adage is incredible. It's really not for the faint of heart because I think those pieces really start
It's quite big
in the 20s, right? Because it's only rose gold with diamonds. But they also do a double ring, which is incredible. They also do earrings, and then they have these gigantic, huge necklaces, which are the Adage. Even though at first I thought it was equestrian inspired, just because it kind of reminded me of a horse bite, it's actually inspired by the Shantank. So it's just a more elongated, more bold, more modern take on the Shantank, which is really unique. And then the model is actually wearing one of the double rings. They have several different double rings, but this is one of them.
Actually,
So
I've never seen the one on her left hand. I've never seen that one ever.
the single ring or the double?
The double.
The
That
double, yeah.
version I have not seen.
I think that might be because it used to be, as I told you, it used to be high jewelry, and
I
then some of
see.
the pieces were interpreted into fine jewelry. But
Mm,
because it is the very same collection and they really didn't change too much, it is a very fine line. So
right.
you might have seen this gigantic, they have this huge statement necklace that's made of these different shaped chains
Mhm.
with the one on the ring being in the middle. That is technically high jewelry. That was the first piece that Pierre Hart designed for Hermes that
Mhm.
then trickled down into other creations. Let me turn off my lights because the sun has just come up. I
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah, go
be.
ahead. No
Go
problems.
ahead. I love the
Yeah.
dash ring. I'm just in my head. I'm thinking, oh, somebody's gonna buy that for a pre-spend, and then it's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be
totally.
20% off. It's gonna
It's
be
not too bad.
70% off in Singapore. We'll buy that. I'll buy it in the
The,
resale.
the price actually of this ring, even if you have to do it at Hermes, just to like a nice
It's gonna
profile,
be
one
insane.
big spend to just like take care of a lot of it. This ring is absolutely stunning. The one
Yeah.
that I always see also is a double ring, but it's just not the one on her left hand because I have seen another double ring with the adage, but just not
Hmm.
the one right here.
Yeah. No, this is one of them.
Right.
I think
Nice.
they do a couple of them, but it's really beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, another Hermes slide. So the Clou de Forge, I know it's something that Amy, you have, right? You have the ring, the
Yeah,
Clou de
I
Forge
have the
ring.
ring. Yeah. I have the
So
ring with
for
the
this,
diamonds. Yeah.
with
Not
Little
this
Princess cut
one, not the
diamonds.
pave diamonds, but there's two little diamonds.
So again, these are new for this year, not for
Mm.
winter. I think they were spring summer. But the Clou de Forge collection now is available with pave diamonds. So they do this one droplet earring on a model, which is actually a single earring. I don't know what's up
Nice.
with me, but I'm obsessed with these statement rings that go on two fingers, but then earrings that go on a single ear. It's usually the other way around. I wouldn't wear either one of those, but I just loved it. I just thought this droplet earring was a unique thing that you don't see too often. And
Yeah.
Hermes does have a lot of these single earrings. They also have ones that climb up your ear, um, which is quite special. But then this one with the pear-shaped diamond upside down and the dangling
Mhm.
thing, I thought was quite unique. And then the Clou de Forge bangle previously was only available with the two diamonds on the
Yeah.
head of the nail, but
Yeah.
now it's available in this pave finish, which I thought was quite cool.
Is this a ring or a bracelet?
Bracelet,
Is it
it's
a
a
ring?
bangle. It's a bangle.
You know
Oh.
what's so crazy? Because I loved the Clou de Forge line so much that I
Mhm.
wanted to get. So I have the small size ring, but
Yeah,
I also wanted to get the large. There's an extra large one, like a
yeah.
chunky one. And I
In
asked
silver
my
or gold?
essay, sorry?
In silver or gold did you want to get it? Because the extra
Oh, I
large,
just wanted to get it in gold.
in gold, yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah, in rose
they
gold.
really often do the Clou de Forge, the large one in silver,
Right.
and then they'll usually do the small one in gold. Not that I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I was wondering which one you wanted to.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I was asking my essay about that,
Mhm.
the size up basically to have another of the same line, but just having it as a statement piece. And she told me at the time, and that was like, I don't know, I want to say a year ago. She told me that they're discontinuing it. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, why would they discontinuing it? So
Yeah,
either she just didn't know what she was talking about because clearly they're expanding the line right now.
yeah. Maybe that
I
particular
love it.
piece was discontinued. I don't
Unless
know.
that's but then I still see it online, which is the strangest thing.
Huh.
Just not in
Sometimes they
all the
just cannot be
sizes
bothered.
available, but
They're like, you know what they're like.
Maybe
Sometimes
she's
they're
just telling you they're discontinuing it so that you can buy it.
no, I don't think that's the reason. Because I wanted to buy
No?
it.
yeah.
Eh?
Maybe she was just not in the mood to put in a transfer request. Maybe she's like, oh,
Maybe, yeah.
too much
Because we
effort.
are in Canada, they just don't really like doing transfer
Mm.
requests. And if we do, it's always within Canada, never international. Like we can't just transfer something from Paris over. That's not something
Yeah,
that they do. Yeah. Unless that's what she means. I don't know.
possibly. But no, these pieces are still around. Not my personal favorite collection from Hermes, don't have anything against it. Not something that I would write home about. But I wanted to point it out here because I know that it is quite a popular collection, and it's a lot more bold, and a lot more, it makes a lot more statement than some of the other creations from the brand. So yeah, but then something that I'm actually a lot more excited about coming back is the Gallop ring, because this is one of my favorite, most worn pieces, my Gallop ring in the small size. It is a very classic, iconic collection from Hermès, and this is one of the first pieces that I ever bought from Hermès. In terms of fine jewelry, I want to say 8-9 years ago. So don't quote me on this. Many years ago, a long time ago, I bought this ring, and it's one piece that I'm always asked about. Even though it's such an itty bitty tiny ring, you really wouldn't think that there is much to it. But when you see this in person, the way it's shaped and the way it's molded, it looks really special for such a small ring. And I never thought that it's something that I would ever get compliments on. But I remember I was in a meeting, and I was giving a pitch, and the only feedback that I got at the end is, "Where's your ring from?" And I was, talking, and this small ring is what people's eyes were drawn to. It does make a statement somehow without it really even trying. There's just something really special about this ring. So I'm really excited to see this coming back. And then, of course, the Gallop range is much more extensive than this. But I think if you are looking for a more accessibly priced piece of jewelry from Hermès, I think this as a pinky ring is just phenomenal. And again, it's not something that you'll see on a ton of people.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Actually, I remember trying this ring in 2021, and I actually personally did not like it, but I think...
Really? Why is that?
Well, that's the thing. I was trying to wear it on the other fingers. So I think what you're saying about wearing it as a pinky ring, that makes more sense. And you're not the first, you're probably, I think it's probably more popular among guys, because we have another viewer at the time. He also cannot rave enough about this ring. This whole
I can see that, but only as a pinky. It will not work on any other finger, especially because the ears. So it has this ring has proper ears and everything, and the ears are quite sharp. So I think that if you wore it on any other rings and it moved, it would be really uncomfortable for the ears to be digging into your fingers. I would not buy this as anything else but a pinky ring.
Right.
But as a pinky ring, it's amazing. And it also has a tiny little diamond. I call this the unicorn diamond, because it has kind of one in the center. And yeah, it just works. It shouldn't, because it's not that big of a deal. But I adore this ring.
Yeah.
I also think as a pinky ring, the head of the horse stands out because it's a pinky finger, right? So the horse actually looks good. It's how is it, proportionate? Because if you wear it on the other fingers, I feel like the horse gets drowned with your finger, and it looks a bit it doesn't look as prominent, right? Whereas on a pinky, it's just perfect. Because I have also tried this ring, and obviously it's too big for my pinky, and they don't make anything smaller.
They don't make it for our pinky sizes.
For our pinky, it's 40.
I probably size 40 or something.
Smaller.
46 is the smallest usually.
46.
Yeah. So no, it won't work.
No, 40. Yeah, mine's a 44. It's really small. So I think I tried it in a 50, and obviously I could only fit it on this finger. And I looked at it, I said, oh my gosh, from the side, it's so beautiful, everything. But it gets drowned, right? It's I don't know, it's not it doesn't stand out. So I can understand why on the pinky, it will look so nice. It's just there.
Yeah. And actually, it's funny that you say that about the size, because this is not the right size for me either. It's not something that I'm really able to wear out at this point, because it's a little bit too big. So I'm afraid I'm going to lose it. I think it is in size 50. Actually, this is size 50. And I was too impatient to wait for this. And when I bought this many years ago, it did fit. But now it's a little bit too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm either going to have this filled with gold. So I'm going to have a jeweler, not Hermès, because Hermès is not going to do it. But I'm going to have an individual jeweler put an additional layer of gold in there. Or you can also buy these... it's almost like a hair tie. You know how some people will wear those hair ties that are spiral? They're made of like silicone. They also do tiny versions of them that apparently you can put inside your ring. You can wrap it around your ring, and then that will hold on to it for you, which is not the most refined, but it's only on the inside. And you don't have to alter designer jewelry. Did I confuse you? I don't know if I explained it well.
I've seen this kind of like a little loop thing that you add to the bottom of the ring, and then you wear it, and it will tighten. Sort of like, you know, when you wear shoes, you add the padding.
Exactly.
Kind of like that. Yeah, but I have tried it. It'll come off. So better to just add the gold.
Add the gold. Okay.
Unless they have improved the way the silicone stays on your skin and against the ring. Every time you roll it up and down, it will roll out of the ring.
Makes sense.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
That's a great tip.
So yeah, after a while you'll be like, because you will play with your ring.
Of course.
Yeah. So better to just add gold. Add gold or cut it and shrink it.
I don't think you can do that with this particular piece because I think the proportions are so meticulous, like it's almost like a little sculpture. I do think that if you cut it and stretched it, it would also stretch the shape of the horse
front of the face. Maybe you will, yeah.
And also because there's a diamond set in there, if you stretch it too much, the diamond could potentially come loose, or it could crack the diamond if you pulled it together too much. So I think I just have them fill it with some additional gold in the bottom so it fits a little better. Because I mean, I can wear it and I do still wear it, clearly. But I know that when it's particularly cold, or if I know I'm going to be out all day and I won't have the mental capacity to be paying attention to it, I'll choose not to wear it just so I don't lose it, because it's genuinely one of my favorite pieces.
It's beautiful.
There's actually another short-term solution that is very common with females, that because their finger size change a lot throughout their life. So you would wear your ring, and then you would wear like a very thin wire ring on top, so that it kind of blocks it from coming out. But that thin wire ring obviously is a smaller ring. As long as it's enough to hold it in so that both don't come out, that's like a short-term solution that you can consider if you can find. I don't know if they would sell it at probably just any jewelry, like just a very fine ring. Like it's literally almost like a wire, but it's just, something that you put on top of a ring that doesn't fit you very well at the moment.
That's a great tip, because something that I did consider, had this been a uniform ring, so just like a traditional ring, I would have bought a very small pavé eternity band.
Exactly.
And then I would have just put an eternity band in front of it, which would have been the perfect size, and then that would essentially stop it from sliding down. But because it's not uniform, because it has the shape of the horse, it looks really strange when it's stacked. The only thing you can stack this with is really a shandong, because a shandong again will have that those curves. But anything else, it looks really silly being stacked. But I mean, if you have the mesh or the net or the wire, I don't think you're buying that as an aesthetic thing.
No, it wouldn't be aesthetic. It really is just to hold it in place. I mean, your ring will still maybe move around like from side to side, rotating, but as long as it doesn't come out of your finger, it's a solution, so that you don't have to like just in between you adjusting, adding more, filling more gold on it.
Thank you, Amy. That's a great tip.
It's my earring. It's my earring.
You have this one, Kat. I didn't realize.
It has lived on my ear up here since the day I bought it, which was when they launched it. It's when they launched this earring. The Shandong single earring for it's beautiful. When I saw this, I was like, yes, buy it. It's super good.
I love the Justin Clare earring. I don't wear earrings. I don't have my ears pierced, but I really do like this design, this really tiny Justin Clare, especially in rose gold. And I think it looks best when it's worn as a piercing, not on your earlobe, because it's quite small. I think it could get lost quite easily. But as a smaller piercing, I think it looks really beautiful. And I think it comes in rose and yellow gold, right, Kat?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it is a pain to put on because it's so small. You need to exactly get it into the knob or whatever you call it. Oh man, which is why I don't take it out. But it's such a good, and it's a good price. It's like you, because like the earrings up here at your what does you call this? What do you call this?
Earlobe?
Helix? No, earlobe's down here, but there's up
Yeah.
here is like there's another part of your ear. I think it's called the
Mhm.
helix. Anyway, this part is it's like if you just put a diamond stud, it's nice, but if you add like a loop, which is like this, it just looks different. There's something about it. I love it.
It looks so beautiful. And then when we were talking about the brooches earlier or pins, there's also a pin in the Justin Clear range, which is it's literally just one solid nail that you can put on a blazer or you can put on a jacket. So that's something else that I would also love the look of from the Justin Clear range. The only piece I bought from this collection was the ring, just about the time this collection launched. But my favorite collection from Cartier is the Panther collection. I think there's nothing quite like the Panther collection. I think if you're going to buy Cartier in 2025 and you don't have an emotional connection to the Love range, which I think is what most people will start their collections with, again, nothing inherently wrong. I think it's just overdone at this point. Don't overlook the Panther collection because it is phenomenal. And of course, it is the mascot of Cartier. It's been part of their heritage for decades. I think no one else does animals quite like Cartier does in a way that's really wearable. It's not overly playful. It's not overly whimsical and quirky, but it's really elegant, really refined, and just unbelievably sophisticated.
I love the Panther ring, actually. I think not this exact one that I was eyeing myself, but there's another one. It's just the head. And it doesn't have the black dots. I think it's literally just solid gold. It's very...
It's a really simple one, right? The one that's like sideways. Yeah.
Yeah.
So both of these ones that I picked, these are from the classic Panther line. So they have the one with the rope where it's like biting onto its leash. That's one of a really, really old design. Again, I would only do this as a pinky ring because it's not uniform. It's kind of similar to the Gallop ring that I have. That's a really old collection. It's very hard to find, not because it's that exclusive, but because it's an older design. And they have tried to make the Panther collection a little bit more commercial, a little bit more mainstream with their more simple creations that are also more accessibly priced. And then the other piece is it's not high jewelry, but it looks and feels like high jewelry, as you can also tell by the price. But this is, I mean, if money is no object, this is genuinely like a little sculpture that you wear on your finger because it's an actual fully formed, solid white gold Panther sculpture that sits on your finger. And the only thing that's holding it onto your finger is its tail that's wrapped around the finger that it's sitting on, which is just, I mean, a piece of art.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's
Love
phenomenal.
Look at the price. Wow.
Yeah. Because most people, when they think of the Panther collection, they think of the Panther head, the skeleton that is like biting onto your finger. Well, you can buy it in the skeleton or you can buy it in solid gold. And then you can also buy it in the pave finish, which the pave finish of the Panther head is actually a similar price. But that to me feels a lot more bold, a lot more rock and roll, whereas this one is really refined, really sophisticated, really elegant. And this really just, you know, like the ring in the middle is like, let's say 10K, 11K. I don't know what the current price is. And then the other one is 300. And that's just to show the breadth of the collection. Like it's such a huge range that you have rings anywhere in between. You really have unlimited options when it comes to this particular collection. And you definitely don't have to spend this kind of money to get this look. They have other creations that are, you know, that won't break the bank.
Gorgeous. I'm going to move on because we do have a lot of slides today.
Yes. Very quickly, this is similar to Foundry, a contemporary American brand, Spinelli. And what I love about these Galaxy rings, they're called the Galaxy rings, is again, they can go on several fingers. They can run across your entire hand because they are stacked. They come in a ton of different colors, a ton of different finishes in silver, gold, with different diamonds, with different height and everything. You really have unlimited options. It's like a candy store. But what's interesting about these is that most people will wear them as a single stack. But as you can see in the middle, they also come apart. So you can pull them out and wear them across multiple fingers, which I think makes them quite special. So just an honorable mention to this particular brand because I think it is becoming more and more well-known. But if you're looking for a contemporary creation, this is chef's kiss.
I love this Spinelli, right? Spinelli.
The Colin, I think it's called, yeah.
Yeah, so
Spinelli
I saw
Colin.
this ring on you know, that influencer that is who's gone really viral lately, Becca Bloom. Do you know? Have you seen? I'm pretty sure you saw. No. So Becca Bloom, she's this super ultra rich Instagrammer, and obviously she's posting all her high jewelry. Okay, not fine jewelry, high jewelry that you only see if you're going. They custom make for you. And then she got married, but before that, she had this ring, and she had the Spinelli ring with the green. I think her husband gave her the green version. So instead of diamonds, it was emeralds as one of the layers, and one was a white gold band, and then another band, sort of like the picture on the right. So white gold band, green emeralds, and then a gold. So it's really nice. So when I saw that ring, I was like, what ring is that? Obviously, I stalked it, and that's when I knew it's this brand called Spinelli, and it's unique because of this. I guess you can custom make it, right? You can make it a single finger, 3 fingers, 2 fingers, and
it's
yeah,
one
you're right.
ring,
It's
right?
getting more and more popular.
And it depending on what mood you're in. One day you can wear it on one finger. The next day, if you want to make more of a statement, you can have that very same ring that you can spread across multiple fingers. Or, you know, if you're not in the mood to stack with other rings, you can do that. But if you want to wear, let's say, your engagement ring or your wedding band or whatever you choose to wear, then you can just wear it on one finger. I think it is incredible. And genuinely, they have so many different options. And the sky is the limit with price. They have ones where you have multiple layers of diamonds, but then they also offer these pieces in sterling silver with just a touch of gold. So you can buy your ring for under $1,000, which I think is quite rare at this point when it comes to designer fine jewelry. I love this brand. Quite hard to get. I think you can only really find this in the US. I'm sure that there are other places where you can buy them, but yeah, it's not, because it's not a huge conglomerate. It can be a little bit more niche to find, but if you get to find a piece that you really enjoy, I think the look is truly unique.
Love
it.
this.
So we have this in common, but I'll let you speak because I'll show my slides later.
Okay, so Bird on the Rock, right? Very iconic creation from Tiffany that's been around. I think it was designed 1965 by a jeweler for Tiffany. And it was a brooch initially, and that brooch is still around with a bird that's sitting on it's a yellow diamond, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's a huge cushion cut yellow diamond that it's sitting on. It's a very iconic look, which is now Tiffany's pulling out from their archives and they're reinterpreting it. I didn't include this collection here because I like it. I included it because it's new. So I'm very curious to hear what Amy will have to say about this, because it's not one for me that I personally appreciate. I just don't like birds. I don't like anything with birds, with feathers, it's just not my cup of tea, but I appreciate it for what it is. And then the other one is the Azzapreti Bone collection, which, I mean, is just incredible, right? It's just one of the most beautiful creations. I always compare this to the CDC from Hermès, because I think very few single pieces will add as much statement to an outfit as this and the CDC would. I don't think they are interchangeable in your collection, but I think it's quite likely that if you like something along the lines of the CDC, you will like this, and vice versa, because this is for a very bold, powerful person who is looking to make a statement with their collections.
Actually, I'm surprised you don't already own the bone cuff yet.
So I bought it in black enamel for Valentine's Day for myself.
Oh, okay.
I ordered it online and I didn't realize that it came in multiple sizes. So
Yeah.
I literally could not put it on. I filmed a reel, and then someone was like, you have it on the wrong hand. And I was like, I don't have it on the wrong hand. That's the only hand they fit on.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I want to get an enamel, but I also really like the issue that I did not jump on this is because I'm not big on sterling silver. I do not
Me
like
too.
spending money on sterling silver.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this particular collection, the price jump from silver to gold
Yeah.
is extreme. It's 10 times.
20 times.
Wow.
Because the silver is about 2K, and then the gold is 20K.
Yeah.
And I was hemming and hawing about it. I was like, oh, should I get this? Should I not? It's an insane amount of money to spend, but it is a huge statement piece. It's beautiful. And then I was talking about it in a vlog, and someone was like, I would not recommend that you buy it in gold because it looks like an ancient, Greek painting.
Yeah.
And it can look quite cheap. And I was like, oh, I never thought about that. And that's why I ended up getting it in the black enamel, because I was like, it's kind of in between, right? It's not silver, so I'm not spending money on sterling silver, which I'm just against the principle. But then it's not gold, where it could be overwhelming, and $20,000. And then I also love the ring, especially the split ring. So the one in the left corner, that's a ring that's also available with available in the shape of a bracelet. I love this collection. It's something that I think if I was more of a Tiffany customer, I would be. I still love it, but it's just not something that I'm like actively hunting for or prioritizing on my wish list. But it's beautiful. It's really, really phenomenal, especially if you can buy 2 of them. I think wearing one on each arm over like a chunky knit or a shirt, and using that almost as a cuff, just incredible.
Okay, so you do own ones, because I was actually surprised like that. I don't remember you owning one, but now it makes sense. So I totally agree with you in terms of like I've been looking, and like every time my essay tells me there's a price increase, I always try to look on their website and then contemplate whether I should add to cart and all that. Of course, they have the left side and the right side, but they also have the split one, like you said, and then they have they even have the different thickness. So there's the small and the medium, and then the large. So I also feel the same way, because I bought a couple of Hermès and LV sterling jewelry, and it's okay, but it's not something that I love. Like I don't gravitate to like, oh, I must wear it today sort of feeling. So that's also the reason why I never really jumped on it. And then the gold, and I've never even actually seen the rose gold. We don't even have that on our website here. It's just too much. It's not an everyday piece for me.
Yeah.
So the only option that I'm currently considering is actually, instead of black, I'm actually considering the ivory color one.
Yeah, the white one.
Yeah.
Like the pearlescent. It's not even, it has like this beautiful, almost like pearlescent sheen to it. It's not mother of pearl, but it kind of looks like mother of pearl.
Yeah.
It's also very, very special. But yeah, I don't understand why the jump between gold and silver is so drastic. Like it's genuinely 10 times the price.
Yeah. So I just have to go and try it on, because they'll never have my size, unfortunately. They'll always have to order it in. But going back to the bird on the rock, I didn't even know that it came out. I just was doing the research, and then actually I was doing research on the thin lock bangle, because I kept getting asked about that. So as I was doing research on it, I stumbled upon their this is new. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's really cute. Now, I must agree, it's not that I don't like birds, but I just have such an appreciation with it, because my essay actually, he invited me to an event, and he actually he put on my neck the bird on a rock diamond, like the yellow diamond. And I was just very casually asking, oh, how much is this piece? And I remember him saying like 2.5 million or something. I'm like, oh, it's just $2 million. Never mind. But it was beautiful. So when I saw that they came out with sort of like almost like a commercial line, I thought it was very well done. Because
Do you think it's well done?
I think it's well done, because if you want something that is from the same line, but it's not $2 million, because it doesn't have that yellow big rock underneath it. You just want to have something from the collection that is still from the same designer. It's a lot more affordable.
It is, but it also looks affordable. Do you not think?
Well, yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, it's just like I was surprised that this piece was 20K, because to me, it looked like something that you could also buy from Claire's. Like the bird.
I wouldn't think of that way. I don't go to Claire's anyway. But you know what I mean?
I don't even know if they're still around, but like you know what I'm saying? It's like the bird itself it looks a little bit
simple.
It looks like something I draw. I draw on my iPad.
Okay, let's not be mean.
With some hair on the top.
Yeah, I was really on like, I appreciate completely the sentiment, and I love the fact that they took this high jewelry piece that's so iconic to the house of Tiffany. So the idea, 10 out of 10. The execution is an F.
Well, okay, I do know that you chose the bird on the rock necklace. That's not the piece that I chose. So if I may move to
Yes,
my
please,
slide
let's
now,
see.
I actually went with either the ring, well, the rings, or the earrings. Those are my pick. So I was less enthusiastic with the necklace because I was like, oh, it's just a necklace. Like I just, it's not something I would buy to get the wow factor. But on a finger, I think the ring is quite nice. And well, we don't have this single bird version in the Canadian site, so I have no idea how much it costs. So I found this one actually on the US site. We have this version in Canada, which, you know, it is a gore for me. I think because it reminds me of a you know, like the fact that I am into, or interested at least, a statement ring that is a little bit more intricate. And knowing this collection, not to say that I'm in love with this collection, but knowing this collection, I can appreciate it. And I love it in the ring. And more importantly, this was the wow piece for me. So first of all, it's a modular design. I did not even know it was modular until I clicked on the picture and saw that you can wear just the stud with the one wing, or you can wear the whole thing. You can even orient the stud part just straight down, up and down, or you can do like a little side wing. So I think this piece is really exceptional, at least coming from Tiffany, because yeah, that's what I think. So I would pick these three pieces. So what do you think of these three pieces?
Kat?
Oh, I think the wings are okay, but the bird is definitely a no-go for me. Like if I wanted to buy an animal, like an animal design, I'd go with Cartier because I feel like they did not capture the bird right. Because I went to a Cartier event and one of the experts, like, this was a while ago, right? One of the they were explaining about how they actually sculpt the panther onto the ring. That's why when you look at the panther, depending on which one you're looking at, it really looks like the animal. It really embodies whether it's the tail or the shoulder or the face or the eyes or the expression, angry, sad, or whatever. Then which is why when you look at it, it feels real. It feels like something that you can. It's not so cartoony, but when I get the artistic, but no, the bird does not work for me. But it's beautiful. I think it will be about the how they craft the bird, but the bird itself, it needs a little bit more work. I don't mind the wings though, because wings, okay, fine. It's nice, and I like you said, the modular thing is good. Yeah, but the wing on the bird. Maybe it's the picture. Maybe when you see in real life, but the picture's not doing it justice.
I don't know about the panther being like all like the way they craft it. I'm not aware of that. But when I look at the two aesthetic, for me, the panther is just too strong and too.
It is a strong element.
Like I personally, I can appreciate it, but I wouldn't wear it. Like I will appreciate it on the slide and as we speak and talk about it. But in terms of aesthetic, I much prefer this. I think it's a lot more sweet. And you can think of at least the two bird version, you can think of like almost whatever meaning you want to put together towards it, right? They are calling it lovebirds on platinum and gold diamonds with diamonds. But anyway, what do you think?
What do you
think? We already know you're not a big fan, but what do you think?
I think Kat put it so eloquently. I could not agree with everything that you said. I also agree with you, Amy. I don't think if you love the bird, you likely like the panther, because the two things are so
different.
They are so like conflicting. It is a completely different aesthetic. It's a completely different appeal. It's a completely different look and feel. But what I am missing here is the execution. You are paying serious money for these pieces, but I don't think that the refinement is where it should be. I think these birds look like something that was drawn by a 5-year-old. You know, it's like, how do you draw a bird? You know, kid will draw initially just
How do you
those
draw a
two
bird?
little bridges, and then like they'll slowly progress into drawing this. This to me, as much as I love the idea, I love the sentiment, I love the meaning, I love the softness, fully agree with your interpretation of these pieces, but I don't think that this looks like something that should be $35,000 because the craftsmanship, the refinement,
Yeah.
you cannot even say that it's Picasso-like and it's meant to look abstract because it doesn't. It just looks cheap. It looks, you know, it was just like kind of thrown together. I think they should have really spent a couple more years refining this design and making sure that it lives up to the same level of design that the bird on rock brooch has. Because when you look at that, the way the bird sits, it is similar to this. I'm not saying that it's a completely different aesthetic because it is similar, but the proportions, the way it's sculpted, it's just a little bit more, you know, sophisticated. Whereas this collection to me is anything but sophisticated. Love the idea, love the design, love the A for effort, but just the way they did it, to me, again, very cheap.
Okay.
They did not
my
embody a
opinion.
bird, right? I mean,
I
for
can
the actually, I
understand
think
from
it's
your
because
point
of the
view.
price. It's the price.
Exactly.
It's like
If
you're
they-
gonna pay this chunk, and then you go like,
Yeah.
wow, just because it's 2 birds. But if they added, I don't know what it is about it. Yeah.
I mean, like, let's say, and I'm not saying that everything needs to be compared to something else because comparison is the thief of all joy. But if you look at this piece side by side with the Van Cleef butterflies, the first piece that we ever looked at, right? That's also simple design. It doesn't have the sculpture, it doesn't have the anatomy of a butterfly, but you see that piece and just the way it's shaped, the way it's formed, it looks really exquisitely made, and it's a lot less expensive than this. Whereas this to me just looks, yeah, just
Well, I will agree that in terms of I feel like they're
Bird on the
using
rock.
something that's from their heritage and just making almost like a comeback, but in a more commercial, more accessible kind of like new collection. Because I will say, like, I will never really buy the bird on a rock because again, it's $2 million. So
and
I
also
feel like
other
it's
pieces,
more.
because it's not, sorry to cut you off, Amy. Then they also have the bird on rock pendants, which are not 2 million. They do have bird on rocks that instead of a yellow diamond, it will sit on an aquamarine or a sapphire or a stone that's a lot less expensive. But those pieces are still in the hundreds of thousands, not in the tens, in the
Right.
hundreds. Like depending on the aquamarine, which you'll see very often in stores because it's a less valuable stone, I think that pendant is $150,000. So again, you know,
I
a
tried the
very
pendant
different.
though. I was trying the pendant. It
But with the
wasn't-
yellow diamond, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
So
was a
like
big
they
diamond.
also offer them with different stones, and then they will be a little bit
see.
expensive,
I
right?
see. I'm not familiar with all the pricing, to be honest, because
Yeah.
it was never really in my market to buy it. Like, I just thought it was nice that they tried to expand it so that they made it more accessible for anybody who loves the collection. And if I were to choose something based on aesthetic, like I wasn't really comparing the price necessarily, I would go for this piece and the earrings.
I see
But
your point.
I think I understand what you guys mean. Like, if you're coming from the point of like very much like refined, like the way it's crafted from that point of view, I can understand your point of view, definitely.
Yeah, at 35,000.
Yeah, I mean, even these earrings, I love them, but they're too much. I also like, I still wouldn't buy them. But I really, if I do like this one. I think it's very clever that they did sort of like a modular design, which we haven't really seen, at least from the mainstream jewelry
All right.
brands.
I've got to give a time check because I've got to jump off in about
okay.
a few minutes.
And Amy,
You know
you
what?
also need to take a break, you said. Do you want to take the
Yeah,
break
I'm
before
gonna
Kat
just
leaves?
go get my
Okay, why don't
medicine.
okay, we can forget about graph. I just wanna before I jump off, can you scroll all the way down to my artifact? Graft is a brand from Brit. Okay, stop here. Go up. All right. Well, you can go and get your drink. I'll just talk about her.
Oh, this
So
is
similar to you're gonna get your probiotics, right? Yep, Amy. Okay, so this lady, very similar to the Foundry that you
Foundry.
talked about. Foundry. So also from New York. And this lady, her name is Kindred. I'm not sure if any of you have been on IG lately or what, but she is a New York-based jeweler that has exploded lately because of her designs. She is a hand engraved jewelry designer. So she hand engraves every single piece of jewelry and she makes rings. So if you love rings, all these old mine jewelry, you buy the ring, you buy the stone, or maybe you get her to source the stones for you, and she will hand carve every single line that you see on the ring. She makes pendants and all, and because she does it all, it's slow lah. It's a hand piece. Now, why am I talking about her? Have you seen Taylor Swift's
Swift.
engagement ring?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's the one.
She's the one who created it. And if you look at her pieces up close and personal, the fact that these pieces are hand carved by a single human being, her talent is out of this world.
It's out of this world.
The precision, the details, she is something else. Like, she is a true talent. And I'm so thrilled that she is the person that got this exposure.
But surprisingly, she cannot go out and talk about it. She did one video to say, like, thank you for all the new followers. But there's no, like, she dropped some, what do you call it, Easter eggs, what do you call it, like hints that it's her, but she has not come out.
I mean,
so Amy, go to the next slide. Yep. There, you can see the engraving at the side of the ring.
It's phenomenal. Like, I'm so glad that they chose to go with a young up and coming designer rather than going with Cartier or Harry Winston or Lauren Schwartz, which is who a lot of celebrities will go with for these large engagement rings. I don't know the artist or designer as a person, but like, her designs, I just have so much appreciation for, because she's a true talent. And what I know about Taylor Swift, I love her music. I'm not a fan of her personally. I don't know anything about her private life, but just from what I understand from her music and her lyrics, she's quite a poetic person. And so I thought that it was just the perfect alignment with Taylor Swift's aesthetic and brand and this jeweler. I think she did an incredible job, and her pieces are truly phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. So Amy, I mean, I'm not speaking of any particular piece, just go one by one on the slides. So look at this one.
Yeah.
It's firstly it's a stone, but it's all the carving at the side. And
even just look at the prongs. Look at the prongs that she used to set the stone.
Yeah, look at the prong. She hand carves the prong. That's crazy.
It's phenomenal. Like, no, it's
wow.
It's a very particular aesthetic, right? Like, it's an acquired taste. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's not something that anyone will be able to pull off, because it's a very, like, sort of almost fairy tale, like old school, very romantic interpretation of jewelry, almost antique inspired or antique like. And I'm pretty sure that the stones that she uses are also old mine cut, and she'll use, if the stone itself is not vintage, it will still be cut in a way that it makes it look vintage. So I think it's going to be quite not a controversial, but it's not going to be universally admired. But I think if you're into her aesthetic, her craftsmanship is phenomenal. I am really curious to see how she'll be able to scale, because now that she blew up, like, her art is truly in her craftsmanship, right? It's not something that you can replicate with in mass production. So I'm really curious how she's going to be able to scale her brand, but I hope that she'll find a way that doesn't sacrifice on what she's known and loved for, because she's a true talent.
Yeah, and she's really young. She's only in her 30s. So you can go to the
Mm.
look at this one. Look at this. When after I found out that she's like, who's this designer? Not that I'm a big fan of Taylor Swift, but I'm a big fan of big rings. And when I watched, followed her IG and saw how she carves every single line, I was like, I need to save some money because I need me a ring like that. It's truly one of a kind. Look at this. If I'm not
It has to be
mistaken,
one of a
this
kind,
was,
right?
like,
Because she's as skilled as she is, she'll never be able to draw those same lines again. No matter
Yeah.
how hard she tries, no two lines are going to be identical. So it will truly be one of a kind.
So I'm surprised because when you brought up Foundry, I was like, oh, there's another. Look at it. Look. Obviously, I didn't put a video, but every line is hand etched. It's mind blowing. So you're right. How do you scale? Probably she will never scale. One ring will cost you 100,000. Who needs to scale? I won't bother.
Yeah.
You just wait. Your time will come when I have time to make a ring for you.
Yeah. Or she'll do a collaboration, right? And she'll do a collaboration where like her aesthetic will be taken by another brand, and it will be whatever her brand name is, X. I don't know, X Majori, X, one of those brands that
and she
is
may
able
design
to
the
produce
ring
in mass production, and she'll design them things that, of course, will not have the same level of craftsmanship, but it will be inspired by the same aesthetic approach that she's known for. I could see her doing that. But
so but I mean, you're talking not cheap rings here, right? Okay, it's definitely in the tens of thousands. But then again, I think she started off with these engagement rings, and people would buy them, maybe with stone or without stone, men or women, and she will hand carve your ring. So if you are looking for an engagement ring, I mean, now it's a bit too late because she's blown up. Probably no time to talk to anyone. But let's look at that. Wow. Yeah. Okay, we'll end with her, and I've got to go. So, never mind about graph. Graph's not important. But I will see you again, G. I'm so sorry. I've got to run for my class. But
I love seeing you, Kat. I would love that. Talk soon.
Don't forget, tomorrow, Luxury Live show with the members in the morning here. Bye, everybody. Okay, see you again, G.
See you tomorrow.
Bye, Kat. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Okay, well, I guess we had to skip a bunch of the other ones that Kat had. But yeah, time just flew by. So I will go back to my slides.
Please, Amy, I'm curious to see what else you have.
Oh, I thought you saw them. I did send them to you.
I didn't go through all of them because I wanted to hear your thoughts.
No worries.
Yeah.
Well, so when we did these slides, we were very well aware that each of us will have a different definition of the best jewelry selection. Mm-hmm. So clearly you guys are more into the craftsmanship and more into like the process of it. Whereas for me, it's all about aesthetic and what I feel like when I see, I like that I feel pleased with, as well as there is a portion of it that comes with practicality. That's just how I am. So I didn't really know about this ring. It's actually from Cartier. I didn't really know about this until I saw it on someone. It's actually a friend of mine. And then I started looking into the whole line. So they have, so this is the ring that I really liked. This is the two-sided Café de Grain. So it's literally the coffee beans. They have also the ones that are just one-sided and just some that are a little bit even more simple. And then they have a whole line, right, with more jewelry like the bracelets and necklaces and earrings. I think this is not the cheapest ring, but one of the cheaper rings that is still very stunning. And for what it is, again, I don't know how to judge your craftsmanship, but just from the aesthetic and once it's on the hand, I really, really, really like it. And also the price is very affordable in my opinion.
I'm
So
surprised you like this because for me, I would have never guessed that you would pick this ring. Because I
really,
think of you, when I think of you, I think of more petite, more refined, more delicate designs. I know you love the lock from Tiffany. I
yeah.
know you like the knot. So when I saw this, I would have never guessed that you would like this because to me, if anything, it's kind of similar to Artifacts, the brand that Kat was talking about, in that it's quite like vintage inspired. It's really old worldly, it's really old school and almost archival. And it's quite like a strong, like solid piece, also because it's made of like yellow gold, right? So it just comes on quite strong. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't like this, but I was just really, when I saw this, I was like, oh, I'm surprised that you picked this particular ring from Cartier.
Um, no, I really did like it. Again, like I
Mm,
said, I do mainly for myself when I buy pieces for myself, I do go for the softer and whatever
yeah.
fits just like my smaller bone structure. But
Hmm.
I am interested eventually to add a very statement ring. And I think this would be a contender just
Mm,
because I don't know, I mean, I did like your very first selection, your first page with the Van Cleef. But similar to that one, I feel like this is also a contender because I mean, it's also in the price range that I would be comfortable with, but also I I don't think that I wouldn't be able to pull off this ring if I just needed to have a different statement ring for a special evening or something like that.
mm.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Cactus collection from Cartier? Have you
The
seen the
cactus?
Cactus? Cactus, yeah.
No.
So it's
No.
inspired by cactus flowers.
Mm.
And to me, those pieces have a similar statement appeal. But
Mhm.
when I think of you, and of course you buy whatever you feel comfortable with, but when I think of you, I would more associate you with the cactus line
You know what? Let's take
rather
a look at it.
than this one. Because to me, this feels so vintage. This to me feels so, I don't know, it just, I don't know.
Cactus. How come I'm not
It's
seeing it?
called Cactus de
Cactus
Cartier.
Ducati.
And it's a,
Really? You see me with this more? Okay, this is just one of them. This is you know what? I don't know if we have this on the Canadian site, which is probably why I never saw it. Okay, let me
it used to be a huge collection. I don't know if it's being discontinued or what's going on with it, but it used to be a gigantic collection that Cartier was doing for years.
yeah. Let me stop this screen and then add this other one. Because I don't
Awesome.
remember seeing this, at least when I was doing my research and I was going on through the
Yeah,
Canadian
this is one
site.
of them. This is not the one that I thought of for you, but I'll show you exactly what I'm thinking of.
Okay, let's see. Jewelry. It's not
There
even,
is,
unless it's here. Is it?
if you go under collection, yeah, and it's called Cactus de Cartier.
I don't know about you, but I don't see it.
No?
No, it's not there. See, I'm in the
Oh,
C section
interesting.
here. It's not there.
How weird. So maybe it's being discontinued because it's quite an old collection.
Because yeah, I
No,
had to Google Cactus Cartier.
even if I go on the US site, it says no results found, but on Google, I can
Right.
click on it. So I guess it's being discontinued, but there was one
Okay.
piece in particular that I thought of where it was inspired by the flower itself. Cactus de Cartier. And what was really unique about these pieces is that they had all these like individual pieces. Here, for example, this is what I thought of. Can you see this?
Yeah, let's put us in bigger. Yeah. Oh, that's
Like
really
this to
gorgeous.
me was a lot more you than the Green de Cartier. And again, this is just me, right?
Yeah.
Of course, I would never tell you to buy something that you don't love. But to me, this collection was a lot more softer, a lot more delicate, yet it still had that same statement from Cartier.
You know, I'm just not aware of it because this is the first time I'm hearing about it. So we're seeing them. So like okay, like this is one of the pictures of the ring worn, but okay, that's good to know. But we can't see it on the website at all.
Yeah, for me, it's not coming up either. I can look for it, so I can look up the pictures, but as soon as I click on the picture to go on the site, it will say no results found. So maybe
Exactly.
it's being
It's not on the site
rebranded
officially.
or it's been discontinued. But if it's discontinued, that means you can find it on the pre-loved market and you can probably get a good deal on it. Because it's also an old collection, so there might even be vintage pieces out there that will get you a better deal.
Oh, this is a beautiful bangle. Okay, well, learned something new today, but yeah, it wasn't that. I think that's the reason, one of the reasons why I never, when I was looking through the whole Cartier line, and also because I saw that ring on my friend, so I was like, oh, that's the only one that I would choose, because currently in what they have in their arsenal, that's all I could pick from.
Yeah. There is a recent video of mine. I think it might be like almost an hour long or 45 minutes long, where I go through and rank pretty much every single collection from Cartier. So if anyone's interested in a deep dive on what Cartier has to offer, including their lesser known lines, that video is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, no, I still like this ring a lot, of course.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm not trying to talk you out of it, but I just thought that maybe the cactus is something that is also worth knowing about.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So other than that one, I know this one is a more popular and a more simple ring that a lot of people own. I think, again, for me, it's the simplicity and the aesthetic, and just I feel like also more approachable in terms of a statement ring. So although I've never tried it also myself, but just from seeing it on social media and just me just liking what I see, this is one of the options. So the VCA Frivole. They have a few different versions. Of course, there is a single flower and there's this double flower. But yeah, I quite like this one. What do you think?
Yeah,
of
so what's
this?
interesting about this piece is that it's part of the same range of rings that we started today's live with, because both rings I showed you are part of the between the finger range.
Yeah.
And most collections will have this between the finger design, which means that it has multiple motifs that span across several fingers. For example, there's even an Alhambra between the finger ring where you will have two different sized Alhambra clovers. But I would love, Amy, for you to try on the butterfly ring. Even if you don't buy it, please do me a favor. Next time you go to Van Cleef, just try it on. I think that ring to me is so quintessentially you. I really cannot think of another person who could pull that ring off quite as beautifully as you would.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you're probably right, because I really did like it when I saw it. I'm not even sure if I will have
Which color
to
would you go for? If you got it, I think it comes in, so it comes with the different sapphires. So it comes in yellow sapphire, pink sapphire. I think it comes in mother pearl. Maybe we can look them up on Van Cleef, yeah.
Let me share my other screen.
I think this is the next level of enabling, when I'm like forcing you to go onto the site so I can talk you into buying.
No, we do that all the time, actually. Two butterfly ring. All right. Do I go here?
No, I think that might be one way of doing it, but I don't know if it will show you all the options.
Oh yeah, it's not the whole line.
So if you go up there, and then if you pick jewelry, and then maybe pick rings, and then if you filter it, maybe, I don't know if that will get you there. Detailed collection.
Maybe by collection.
Here we
it's
go.
Still, unless
at least we can look at all the rings then, and we can.
Sure, no worries.
Yeah, so these are all the between the finger rings that we love.
Oh, there we go. There's a couple here.
So you have the sapphire, you have the all pavé one. I actually, even though I'm a big fan of diamonds, I don't love the double pavé version. That to me is a little bit kind of redundant. Just having two butterflies that are the same color. I thought about the mother of pearl for you. What do you think about that one?
I do like it.
And it's
I
also
probably
rose
have to consider everything though.
Yeah. Surprisingly, there is not a big price difference between the semi-precious gems and the sapphire ones, right? So that one is, I also love
So
the
this
blue
one
one.
is 29.9.
Yeah.
So plus tax. And then these ones, oh wow, these ones are a lot more actually.
Oh, they are. I didn't think that there would be that much of a price difference. How much is your sales tax? 8%?
12%.
12.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Because it varies by province in Canada. So our province is 12%. Where I used to live is 15 actually. So
Wow.
it's already much better here.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, the lowest province tax is still 5%, but 5% is like cheap for us. Like 12% is on the higher side too.
Do you have exceptions for sales tax? Like for example, in Jersey, when I lived in New York, you could go shopping in Jersey, right? Because it's so close.
Oh,
depending on where you live in New York, and then you don't have sales tax on shoes, scarves, ready to wear maybe, because they're considered essentials. So on essentials, you will not have sales tax. So an essential could be a pair of shoes from Hermès, and you pay no sales tax in Jersey.
Really? No, not this good.
Yeah.
Our only exception, at least in our province, is food, and so if you eat out or if you buy groceries, it's 5% tax. Some essentials, like you mentioned, like I think haircut, I think certain hygienic products such as like feminine hygiene or like I think even toothpaste, things like that is 5%. But a lot of times we don't even check because we just pay whatever price it comes up.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing you can do about it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the very bare minimum essential. Like definitely not like you can't be considering a pair of shoes from whether high end or low end. It's not like that. Another exception is for children under 14 years old. Their clothing is 5%, but then every time you go to pay, you have to tell them, and then you have to sign a form and everything. So it's quite annoying, actually.
Yeah,
so it's not so automatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, sadly, these are not an essential, but they are beautiful.
They are.
Yeah.
Looking at the just a few ones that are here on the site, I do agree that the one, because I feel like even though they look nice on picture, I do agree that if both sides are pavé, it does kind of take away not the
it doesn't
design
stand out quite as much. Let me show you a picture of me trying it on. I tried it on just for fun. It's not really not something that I would buy. Do I still have the picture of them? No, I don't think I do. But wait, let me try to find it. Maybe it's here. Might take me a while. But yeah, that's a collection that I really, really do like from Van Cleef.
While you look at it, I'm gonna go to the next slide then.
Okay, I think it's here.
Okay. Oh yeah, I think I only have a few more slides. I already showed this one on one of my previous live show. I think as a very simple timepiece, but I probably won't really be looking at it for the time, but I actually like it more as a bracelet, and I like it when it's worn alone. Like not so much with stacking with anything else, just on its own with a simple ring. Maybe you're just your wedding ring. I really love this watch, and the idea that this watch is just like a simple bangle, and the name suggests baignoire, which is bathtub. I don't really know all the history behind it, but I thought it was cool, and it looks like a very, very comfortable piece.
It's so funny that you mentioned this watch, Amy, because every time I go to Cartier, they try to sell me this watch. I've never seen it on the heart shell bangle. I've only ever seen it with a leather strap. They always try to sell me this watch because I love the Crash de Cartier watch. Are you familiar with the Crash de Cartier? So, and I think I might be wrong about this, but I do think that the Crèche de Cartier was based on the Benoir watch, because the
Oh.
Benoir watch was worn by someone driving through London who got into a car accident, and the watch got deformed. But I
Uh-huh.
do think that the original watch that inspired the Crèche and what essentially ended up turning into the Crèche was a Benoir watch.
Oh. So did you try it on? What did you think about it?
The Benoir,
Mm-hmm.
I must have tried it on. I don't recall. I think it was okay. I mean, it's not the Crèche de Cartier, right? Like if I ever
Yeah.
bought a piece of Cartier, I would try to buy the Crèche. Obviously, it's not something you can just ask for.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I think it doesn't suit me, but I do really like it. I think it's a very formal, very beautiful, very refined petite watch. I still prefer watches with a leather band. So if I was to buy it, I would go for one with a leather band. But I think it
Mm.
would be a phenomenal watch for you because you're quite petite. So I think this would look just really elegant, really refined, and also proportionate on you.
I think that's the idea. I feel like I feel like this watch has made a resurgence in popularity. All of a
Mhm.
sudden, everyone wants to get one. Maybe that's
Yeah.
the reason why they tried to sell you one, because they thought maybe it's so popular and you're, a known customer, so they probably thought you would like it too. But I do think that this is definitely more of a feminine watch, and I feel like people that buy it more as a jewelry piece, to be honest, because who's going to look at a watch for time? I'm not even used to looking at my
Right.
watch for time anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to see if, because I think this Benoir is also available with diamonds. I actually prefer it with diamonds, but also this is the ring, Amy. I
Okay.
found a picture. This is me
Let's
trying
make
on
you
the ring.
bigger. Oh my gosh, you're wearing as a pinky ring.
You know me and pinky rings.
It's really pretty.
It's insane. I don't think this would actually work well as a pinky ring because
Yeah.
you would have
It's
too much
sticking out.
sticking out. But it's really, I was just so blown away by it. And I'm not big on Van Cleef. I really don't think that it's my
Mhm.
personal aesthetic.
Mhm.
But just the fact that the body of the butterfly was a single marquee cut diamond, the way
Yeah.
the wings were shaped, it
Yeah.
just really looked beautifully done. But I wanted to look up the Benoir with pave diamonds around the face. Or am I thinking of another Cartier watch that? Yeah, it's not. It's not the Benoir that I'm thinking. No, it is the Benoir, but there are
I
two different. There's this one. It's called Benoir Allongé. So I was thinking about this one. This is the one that I preferred on myself. This is definitely this is a watch I tried on either last Christmas or the year before. I was at Cartier, and I much preferred this.
Oh. It's
Yeah,
very nice.
it's really, really beautiful.
Mhm.
On me personally, it looked more proportionate. But
Mhm.
again, we have very different anatomy.
Yeah, for
So I
sure.
understand why you would prefer the traditional mini. And then this is the one with the leather band. This is the one that they tried to convince me to get.
Oh no,
Leather
I don't
band.
see you wearing that at
No,
all.
I don't either.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I can see you with that watch for sure.
I'm drooling about this one because also to have something that is in 18 karat gold, it's really not that bad of a pricing either, which is why I
Yeah.
think it's made a resurgence in popularity for sure.
And
But
also,
I
I
think,
think just like the whole idea of everyone buying the tank, for a while, for
mhm,
a few years, everyone was getting the tank. And so it
yeah,
makes sense that then they would reach for another archival piece because this is something that's been around for over 100 years in the Cartier
yeah,
collection. So it makes
yeah,
sense that they would eventually reach for something new.
yeah.
Because there's really nothing. There's the Santos. The Santos is the first watch that Cartier ever created.
Mhm.
Did you know that actually Cartier was the first brand to design a watch that was meant to be worn on the wrist?
No.
Yeah, it was Cartier. Cartier designed it for one of his friends who was a pilot. And before, they only had pocket watches. So Cartier was the first
Oh,
brand to ever design a watch that went on the wrist, and it was designed for a pilot. And it's no longer available, the exact same design, but then that inspired the Santos. So you cannot buy
right.
the original watch, but Santos was actually inspired by that original design. And the reason it's called the Santos is because it's named after the pilot. So the pilot's last name was
makes sense.
Santos. Yeah, that's what you call that.
Very nice. We love all your little intricate knowledge about everything. Okay, so I'm going to show 2 more slides that are definitely more on the popular side. And for me, obviously I like these pieces. I own the one on the far right side, but I also think that, you know, not everything has to be, craftsmanship and like so super intricate and whatever. Like sometimes having pieces that are just wearable, but still looks very nice put together, but also makes you feel a certain way is also what I would pick. So obviously I already own the large link Tiffany hardware earrings. Before I bought those ones, I was really, really contemplating getting the diamond version, which is sort of, they call it large, but they are actually proportionately bigger because I guess with diamonds, you need more space to also set them. So the earrings are actually slightly longer. And then of course they have the extra large size, which is also all plain gold. But I feel like this line, although they are, in a way, everyone owns them in a way, but I don't think it gets old because even for me, I don't wear my piece all the time, but whenever I do grab them, I just love it. Like it's just really nice, and they are relatively relatively well priced for the plain gold one, but I still, even with the pave, I think it's really, really awesome and just adds to the outfit for sure.
Considering the statement they make, they are reasonable. Yeah. No, I agree. The only piece I would buy from this collection, they did one in black a couple of years ago. It was a limited edition drop. They did it in maybe ceramic. I don't think it was black and gold. It might have been black and gold, like plated gold in black. That was quite cool. And then I also love the Titan collection from Pharrell. That's inspired by hardware.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that they had it in black a long time ago. That's really, they have changed this hardware line so much because some of the photos that I saw on social media, the shape of the earrings or the shape of the links are completely different.
But also they look so many fakes out there, Amy. I think after the Cartier Love, I think this might be the most duped or most copied collection out there because you see so many of them. I think you can even buy these on Amazon.
I know. But I don't think they were fake though, because they were worn by celebrities.
Okay, then you would assume not.
I would assume not, just because they were celebrities, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm not sure. But I thought that maybe they had just had many iterations of it because, you know, Tiffany does move very fast. Right now, they even have a smaller version of the hardware link earrings. So now they have a medium size as well, which is a lot smaller, more everyday. I suppose. So I would assume they have had that version a long time ago, but just totally different looking and way chunkier. Because these, you think they're chunky, but those ones are just way chunkier and way more masculine in a way. The necklace, I do really like it. I do think that with this necklace, they're very versatile because of the way you can close it. You can make it into a choker. And then you can make it into a longer necklace. Obviously, for guys, maybe not that much room to work with. You guys have a bigger neck. But for me, I can wear it as a lariat. I can wear it as a choker. And I can wear it as the regular length or just whatever length suits the top that I'm wearing. So I think it's super versatile. So,
and I also love, for me personally, I wouldn't buy this one because the links on this progressively get bigger, right? But they have a mini hardware collection where like the links are incredibly small and you can wear it just as like a single necklace. I like the idea of that.
They have several sizes actually. They have, so this is, I don't know, this one they call it graduate, but there's a medium, there's a small, and probably the mini is the one that you're referring to, which is smaller. And then, okay, 2 more slides because I know we are up in time. So just to touch on the lock bracelet, obviously I own the original one on the right. I kept getting asked, like, what do I think about the narrow one? So I gave my feedback on a video of the narrow one. What do you think of the narrow one?
So it's quite interesting because I think we talked about this before. I was not a big fan of this range when it first launched because to
Mhm.
me it was very clearly, at least in my opinion, Cartier's reaction to the success of the Love, right? It's a very
For
similar
sure.
shape, a very similar idea that you can wear this every single day. Again, you lock your lover into this relationship with this piece, which is the same thing with Custody Belt inspiration for the Love. So that's how I saw it. So I wasn't a fan of the original design, but then I was at Cartier recently and they showed me the narrow ring, which looks like something that would go across 2 fingers, but it only goes on one. But because the shape is more oval, it doesn't fit your finger perfectly. Does that make sense? It's a little bit more, it sticks out slightly more. So I thought it was a really good compromise of going for a statement ring without making too much statement. So
Mhm.
if anything, I love the rings in this collection more so than the bracelets personally.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
tried the rings as well. I find them interesting aesthetically, but I don't know if I feel comfortable wearing them just because 'cause they're
right? They feel really strange because
Yeah,
you don't have that like hugging, cozy feeling around your finger. You always have a little bit of space left, which is what gives you
yeah,
that statement. But then it feels kind of like not really secure,
yeah,
right? But
yeah.
I love the look of them.
I think it's so specific with so this whole Tiffany lock line, I think it's very dependent on your bone structure because that's something I
Mm,
tried to explain in the video, which is super hard to explain. I think you have to experience it yourself when you go and buy it and try it because um luckily with this whole line they do offer it in many sizes all the way from extra small to extra large,
mhm,
which would work on many people's like many sizes wrists,
mhm.
except if you don't have the exact, I guess, bone structure, like just having even a little bit of flesh to kind of just make it
Something for you to hug
sit.
on to.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
hug properly, like
yeah.
if you're too round or even too skinny, it may not work. And
Mm,
I think for me, the reason why I ended up loving it so much is because it literally fit my wrist perfectly,
mm,
and that they
I can
still had
see
a
that.
size that fit me. And so I think that's maybe one of the reasons why I'm a little bit biased because although I still love my love bracelet as well, um, the love bracelet, sometimes I get annoyed with it, just I don't know, I feel like there's, like, a little knob on the inside from the screw, where the
Yeah.
screw is, and although it doesn't bother me on a day-to-day, but, like, if I'm feeling kind of unwell and I just feel like everything that scratches me is scratching me, so that's when I kind of want to remove it. I don't have the same feeling with this because it's
Mm,
completely smooth on the inside. Now with the
yeah.
narrow, I did try it on, obviously, it's briefly, I don't have the bracelet. I can see why some people might even like this one more because with the original size, it is a lot more substantial, so
Mhm,
maybe some people don't like the weight of it. Um, there are people that probably just like something a lot lighter weight on
mhm.
the wrist so that you don't feel like it's constantly dragging you down. So I feel like
Yeah.
that might be the reason why they expanded into a thinner version so that it caters to those people. For me
Mhm.
personally, I just love the aesthetic of the original one. I think that that's the classic one, and I like that it's a little bit chunky on one side because although I like everything, feminine and um, more intricate,
Mhm.
but I also like something edgy sometimes. So this, I feel it has a bit of both, which is why I like it.
Yeah, it's a great grounding piece. And also, just to add to what you said about some people preferring a more dainty piece, I think that's definitely part of their strategy, them offering something that's a little bit lighter, a little bit more dainty, a little bit more soft, but then
Yeah,
also for stacking, right? I think
yeah,
the classic lock can be quite overwhelming as part of a stack, but the thinner
correct,
one you can definitely stack with a Cartier Love, with a Love bangle, not a Kelly bangle, maybe
correct,
with if you have the lock, the original one without diamonds, adding the thinner version on top with diamonds adds a little bit of sparkle, or it adds some more texture into a stack. So for me, the thinner one, I would definitely look at as more of a stacking piece, whereas the original, I think, stands on its own, but you can also stack, whereas the thinner one, I don't know if I would necessarily wear it by itself, because I think
right?
it could get lost quite easily. It's the same thing with the thin love. I see a lot of people wearing it on its own, and while I don't particularly encourage people to buy the love at this point, I can still appreciate it on some people, but the thinner one on its own, it looks too thin. I think it gets lost way too easily. It doesn't matter how petite you are. I think the thin was really meant for stacking. You need something else to ground it.
Really? I've been wearing it alone all this time.
Really?
Yeah,
No, for me,
but then I
stacking.
do own it in the smallest size, and I was told one time when someone saw the video, they said that they thought it was the regular size on me because my bone structure is so small that it looked
Makes
like
sense.
a decent size on me. But I actually have been wearing it alone for the longest time.
Oh, interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
to each their own, right?
Yeah, that's the beauty about jewelry, right? You can personalize it. Okay, we'll just very quickly go through this. I tried both. I tried the one with the full pave because my essay just thought it was fun to bring new stuff for me to try. I did like it a lot. I think it's, for me, with what I have on my arms already, I don't know if it's wise to add to it. Like I do think it was a beautiful bracelet. But I was very attracted to it. I just don't know if I'll, there are sometimes you have the feeling that you tried it once and you just can't stop thinking about it. So for me, I liked it enough that I was like, oh, I might think about it, but then I didn't. It was not constantly on my mind. So it's sort of where I'm at right now.
And it's a lot of money to spend on something that you're not in love
Correct.
with. But I mean, I'm actually not a fan of the bangles from the knot collection. I much prefer the rings. And my mind recently changed about this because I went to Tiffany with a really close friend of mine. She asked me to go with her because she was buying herself something. And while I was looking at stuff, the sales associate that was helping her brought out all these different rings that I would have never looked at. I would have never suggested that she tries on the Tiffany knot because it's just not something that I preferred. But by the time I got back to her, she already had it on her finger. And it actually looked so beautiful on her because she has very long, really delicate fingers. And on her, it looked so proportionate and so beautiful. I think, it depends on who's going to be wearing it. But I actually love the rings in this collection. The really thin rings with the diamonds on the bow. I think those can be quite beautiful. But again, these are not stacking pieces. You have to wear these on their own because they are not uniform. So you cannot put anything besides them.
I think you sort of basically brushed on that too. Like I just wasn't sure it was a good stacking piece because although it looked nice on my wrist temporarily, but I just don't know if it would work long term as a stacking piece. It would have to be on its own for me.
You know what I think it could be a good alternative to if you love a tennis bracelet. For me, that's how I see it. If you love a tennis bracelet, this is a more modern, more contemporary take on that, especially considering that it's solid, whereas a tennis bracelet is usually quite flexible, right? And more fluid. I think this is a great alternative. And some people will wear a tennis bracelet every day, but a lot of people will reserve it for more special occasions. That's how I would look at this piece. It's more of a special occasion piece that you would pull out to make a statement, but it's a lot of money to spend on something that you wouldn't get too much wear out of. So you just have to weigh how, what's important for you to have this special piece that you can pull out every now and again, or to invest in something that you can wear daily. I don't think it's something that you could wear daily, especially if you already have a stack going on.
Totally agree. And then I have one more slide. This one is just on my wish list.
Yeah, I wore this for you because I know you love this.
Let me see.
What is it?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I saw your video so many times on this bracelet. Obviously, I know you've owned yours a long time. Didn't you say that they even changed the size of it?
They did.
Yeah.
They did. Now it's much thinner. I don't know if the pave one is thinner, but if you get it in yellow gold, without diamonds, it is much, much smaller.
Oh no, I wouldn't want that one. I still think that, there are pieces of jewelries in Hermès that I prefer just plain gold, but there are many that I prefer having the diamonds. It just adds enough of the extra detail, and makes it looks less plain as well. Obviously, every time there's a diamond or pave diamonds on it, it's like double the price.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to go back to the slide, I think for me, I tried both of them. I tried both the gourmet and the Kelly chain. For sure, again, the more delicate piece, which is the Kelly chain, looked better on my wrist. But I can totally, if it was just all white gold, the gourmet on its own, I would wear it as a standalone piece. It's so stunning. And to be honest,
Yeah.
their pieces, they're not, I mean, they're expensive, obviously, but they're not badly priced. They're actually very reasonable, even given that how many years I've considered this bracelet, it's gone up in price by a lot, and it's still
Yeah.
reasonable compared to many of the popular jewelries that we have seen so far. So
I think again, it's quite relative, right? Like, of course, it's an insane amount of money to spend on a single piece, but if you compare it to Cartier, if you compare it to Van Cleef, considering how much statement is added to your collection, what craftsmanship you're getting, the design, the aesthetic, the overall experience, they are reasonably priced in comparison to those.
Yeah.
In isolation, yes, it sounds like an insane amount of money, and it is. But in comparison to other houses, I think it is, you're actually getting quite a good piece for what you're paying.
I think so too, because I mean, with the Kelly chain, for example, I was looking at just like the total diamond weight, and to compare that with something similar, even at Tiffany sometimes, it's not too bad. Like price wise, it's you're getting what you're paying for, which is what I appreciate with Hermès. Now, the problem with Hermès is also the longer they've had that collection, the more price increase they've had. So the later you buy it, then it becomes less of a value compared to if you were to get it more earlier on. But still, I feel like they're not too extravagant in terms of their pricing, given what they give you.
And especially if you compare it to other métiers from Hermès, I do think that you're still getting a great deal.
I agree.
With their fine jewelry, right?
Yeah,
like some of their home pieces, I don't think are justified. Some of their shoes at this point are not justified. But their fine jewelry, I still think, is a métier that is worth buying into, because what you're getting is actually quite unique. It's quite precious.
Do you think it's because they can't really increase the price of jewelry, fine jewelry especially, that quickly? Otherwise, it would just be astronomical. People won't be able to afford it at all.
Yeah. And also, fine jewelry is not something that Hermès was known for, It's something that they've been doing since the 1930s, with the Shantung coming out in 38, I think it was. So that was the first time that they did it. And it's not something that they're really recognized for. They're known for their leathers, and initially their scarves and ties, then their leathers, of course, not their bags. But I do think that eventually they'll be a lot better known for their jewelry, at which point they're probably going to pick up pricing too.
Yeah.
And then another thing is that Cartier doesn't hold Hermès doesn't hold its value on the pre-loved market.
Yes.
So you can find these pieces for essentially pennies compared to the original retail price, which is quite scary if you think about it. But it does also mean that if you want a really excessive, over-the-top paved piece, you can buy it for a fraction of the price on the pre-loved market. But then it comes down to, why are you buying these pieces? Are you buying them because you genuinely love the design, or are you buying them because you're hoping to boost your purchase history? Of course, it can be the mixture of the two, right? In the best case would be that you can double dip. But if you're genuinely buying something because of the design, I don't think you should buy a piece of Hermès jewelry before looking on the pre-loved market. And especially because these pieces are not that popular, I doubt that there are too many dupes out there where you'd really have to worry about something being a fake, because they are such specific, such niche pieces that I don't think a lot of people would copy these.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you so much for spending your precious 2+ hours with us. It's always a pleasure to have you here, G, especially because it comes from a totally different perspective, male perspective, and also someone with just a lot of experience with different brands. And I'll finish with this question to you. What is on your radar for jewelry, since we're talking about jewelry?
What's on my radar? Foundry has been on my radar for years. It's not something that I'm prioritizing in any shape or form. And one of my best friends and I are wanting to get a matching friendship piece.
Oh
So
yeah.
something that we briefly considered was a ring from Prada. It's not something that we talked about, but Prada also came out with fine jewelry last year.
Oh.
And they have this very special cut of diamonds, which is a triangle cut. It's not something that you see, but of course, Prada has the triangle emblem. And they have a diamond cut inspired by that. And they have this one ring that features a triangle cut diamond that I was really intrigued by until I found out the price. It was something ridiculous. So that's not happening, but I might be designing something custom with this friend of mine. So
That's exciting.
there is definitely a piece of fine jewelry in my near future, but I haven't figured out what it is. What's on yours, Amy? What's next for you?
Oh, everybody knows it because I keep talking about it. I just want to get the Kelly
me.
chain, the one that you're wearing right now, but the current version, basically.
Yeah. If this fit, I was considering actually rehoming it for a while because it's really not something I wear that much. But I
I'm
wanted
glad you
to.
didn't.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna
It's a
put it. I
stunning
think, back in
piece.
the.
I feel like it's, with jewelry, it's funny because you might get sort of like, my goodness, you might get a bit, not bored, but like you just don't want to wear it for a while. But then the moment you decide to go back and wear it, it's like new love.
And this is really such a special piece. For me, I have to stack it. I cannot wear it on its own. For me, it's a little bit too dainty by itself, but like stacked with a Be Happy. And it's one of those pieces you can stack with even custom jewelry because it looks so expensive that it really elevates anything that you put it on with.
Yeah.
But I assume you'd have to get it in the smallest size, right? Because mine is standard.
I would have to. Yeah, I tried it because we don't order the extra small in Canada. So I've tried it only that size in Hong Kong. And it's like fits me so well. Like if I were to stack it with my love bracelet, it's like they're made together. They're made for each other. So the only issue right now is I don't want to wait too much longer again to buy it. So I would have to buy it in the short size and either just send it away to get it shortened at Hermès, or I could see how I feel about it, wearing it kind of just dangly and moving around and see how I feel about it. But yeah, I probably will just pull the trigger this year and just see what happens with the size.
You want to get it directly from Hermès. You wouldn't consider it pre-loved, right?
No, I would, but it's, I'm after different things too. So I would probably just buy it from my store anyway.
But I mean, the fact that you want it so bad and you're there to buy it, you're serious about it, and they're not willing to transfer it for you in extra small, that to me is kind of shocking. Like they would rather you buy it in the wrong size and then have it sent to Paris.
Yeah.
But would you have to pay for the resizing then?
Yeah. Which is why I didn't get it last year when it was like thousands of dollars less. That was exactly the proposition that they gave me. It's like, just buy it and we'll send it away. But I'm like, oh, is it free? No, you have to pay, I don't know, $200-$300 to have it resized. I'm like, so I'm buying it and I don't have my bracelet for months and I still have to pay more. It didn't make sense to me.
And then would it be proportionate, I wonder? Is it just the links that make it smaller or bigger, or
it's the links?
It also is just so the clasp is the same size on every single one of them. It's not that the standard is slightly bigger and then
no. It's just extra links.
It's just extra links. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the links you get back, so you get a little bit of extra gold. Not that much, not enough.
Do we get it back? I hope so.
I mean, imagine, Amy, if they don't give it back to you, that would be
I
insane.
know, and you pay extra.
It's your piece. I mean, could you
know.
imagine if they wouldn't give it back to you? I mean, even if you go to like a jeweler to have a watch resized, they'll give you back the chains, whether they're solid gold or
I think they would give it back because I had my watch resized. They gave me back the extra links. So
right,
although they're all screwed up now because I don't think you can reuse those links. They kind of really pried it. Maybe because my wrist is so small, they had to pry it in a link that's not supposed to be pried open. And I don't think they can put it back because it looks very destroyed, mangled, basically.
Yeah. Well, you have a couple of months because price increase is coming at the beginning of January.
Yeah.
So you can make up your mind. You still have a couple of months.
I'll probably just pull the trigger because it's not like I'm stopping. Like I still have more wish list items with Hermès. Not really stopping anytime soon anyway.
Yeah, but I prefer the chain over the gourmet personally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually I can probably buy more of the pieces pre-loved, but for
Yeah.
now, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to keep you any longer. Thank you so
You're
much
not.
again. We'd love to
Thank
have
you
you
so much
back,
for
of
having
course.
me. It was so much fun. I
Probably
love
for the
seeing
end
you.
of year, we'll try. I
Yes,
know
I
you're
would love
busy
that.
with school and all, but thank you so much. And well, we'll just say goodbye here. But thank you again, and yeah,
Thank
we'd love
you.
to
Have
talk
a
to
nice
you
weekend,
again.
Amy.
Yeah,
Bye,
bye. Good
guys.
night.